Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Is Belarus friends with the United States of America? Or are the Americans friends with Belarus? No, they're not. Lukashenko is called a dictator, a tyrant, and so on. On top of that, Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, is friends with Putin, and Putin is the bad dudes. Therefore, makes sense that Belarus is a bad country. Well, maybe that's what you thought. The problem is the same as in the so-called Cold War. We were told that we are at war with the Soviets and the evil empire, but they were doing business behind the scenes. Business as usual. So in this case, maybe you are aware that the Russians and the Belarusians are conducting military drills in Belarus under the name called Zapad. Zapad. So they are drilling. Pam, 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 boom, 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 zim, zoom, zap, zap. Well, guess what? Who is also present over there? You wouldn't guess? Well, some American officers are also part of Zapad, Russian, Belarusian military drills next to NATO, to Poland. Details in a second. Now, these imbeciles in Europe, they still talk about the no-flight zone over Ukraine, about which the Russians said that is a direct confrontation, we will you up. But they still talk about of how many airplanes will be needed to defend Western Ukraine, the Polish side, all right, of Ukraine, in order to defend it. That's about 120. We're going to talk about that one as well. Then we have Tusk, Donald Tusk, the Prime Minister of Poland. He claims that a drone flew over Warsaw, that's the capital, government buildings. And they did something to it, and they arrested some Belarusians doing it. So Poland neutralized drone over Warsaw government district. Do you remember the Reichstag fire? And because we are talking about Poland, how about an African American Polish beer, which is 9.5% alcohol, and it's black. All right. So, very good beer. One of my favorite, actually. So, do you remember when it was the Reichstag fire? I think it was in 1933. What happened? A fire broke up to the Parliament's building in Germany. Parliament's building. Remember, Germany was a democratic country in 1933, in 1932, and 1931, and so on. But the Nazis won the elections. They won, I think, 33% in 1933 of the electorate. So they were the majority party. So they formed the government, and the chancellor was appointed Herrn Adolf Hitler. He was appointed, legally appointed, through democratic system. So he didn't come to power with abuse like Biden or others. You know what I mean? So nevertheless, there was a democratic, pluralistic, democratic system in Germany at that time. And it was a fire at the Capitol building, Reichstag. And then the Nazis said, oh my God, it was the communists doing that. So because of this, we have to protect you. Therefore, we have to infringe your liberties. We're going to be the Uni party, banned all other parties, and Adolf Hitler became, from chancellor, he changed into leader, which is Führer. Okay? So that's how that happened over there. We have in Poland. Why? Because they claimed an incident, some bad people attacked our institutions, the Reichstag, the parliament building, and therefore we have to protect you. We have to infringe your liberties and protect you. That's exactly what's going on in Poland right now, and exactly what's going on is going on in United States of America after this Charlie Kirk thing. So Poland, we were attacked right in the center of our governmental power. We have to react. How? Well, we're gonna make sure that you guys cannot do it, whomever you might be. That's another one. Next article, and this is the last one. A few days ago, I can't remember how many days ago, in one of my videos I claimed this when there were some imbeciles celebrating that the Russians are so easily vulnerable to the Ukrainian drones, which the Ukrainian drones can hit the Russian infrastructure, and say, oh my God, it's so easy. All these oil refineries, the railways, whatever we want to strike, we want to strike. And I was making the point in that video that, yeah, but the same thing is true for the United States of America. Do you think that if you release some drones, let's say from Mexico, in the United States of America, they will hit each and every target they will have? Each and every refinery, each and every, if you want, even atomic nuclear power plants, they will hit them. They're not defended. You want railways? All of them. Do you want water treatment plants? All of them. Do you want water dams or hydroelectrical power plants? All of them. They have nothing to defend them against. So these are more vulnerable than the other guys. And this is an article that shows that. It just confirms something I said I don't know how many weeks ago. You guys are even weaker than the Russians. Why? At least the Russians are at the war footing. Is that way? On a war footing? The same with the Europeans. If, and that will happen, like in Poland, you are sitting ducks for the criminal organized crime in Europe. When they will use your weapons to settle things in Europe, or to do certain things to some politicians they don't like for their policies, you're gonna see a lot of assassinations. I predict that. A lot of them. And you know who's gonna be guilty? Not them for providing Ukraine with weapons that were sold on dark market. It's gonna be Putin. Right, let's start with the first article. And that comes from Ukrainska Pravda. Where are you, baby doll? Right here. Topaloka moka foka. Let me get my goggles. Where are the goggles? Right here. Remember, it's a beer involved here. US military attend Zapad exercise in Belarus in unexpected move. American military officers have attended joint Russian-Belarusian military exercises Zapad 2025 on Monday, September 15th. Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Krenin told the visiting US officer that they could look at whatever is of interest to you. How about Oreshnik? Alright, Krenin described the presence of the Americans at the training ground in Belarus as a surprise. And I'm quoting, surprise, like the Americans just in a bar, in a saloon. Shot of whiskey. That's how they entered Belarus. It was so, oh my God, the Americans are here. No, it was not a surprise. For the imbecile, it's a surprise. For us and the Belarusians, it was all organized. Do you think that Americans just, I think I'm going to have a little Belarusian beer, I don't know, in Minsk now, and inspect whatever my bowls want. It didn't happen that way, and you know it. Oh, I was about to put it in my nose. Ha! Yeah. Yeah, I'm already there. All right, so now, and I will explain, I'm going to read the article, I'm going to explain what I think it is from the American side, all this move. And I'm quoting, who would have thought how the morning of another day in Zapad 2025 exercise would begin? Belarusian Defense Ministry said. The ministry issued a statement that noted the participation of US officers among representatives from 23 countries, including 2 other NATO member states, Turkey and Hungary. The ministry released footage showing 2 US officers in uniform thanking Krenin for the invitation and shaking his hand. We will show whatever is of interest to you. Your mom's pussy. How about that one? Whatever you want. Oh, I want many things. You can go there. You can go there and see. Talk to people, Krenin told them. The US officials declined to speak to journalists. The attendance of American officers marked the latest sign of warming relations between Washington and Belarus, a close ally of Russia, that allowed Moscow to use its territory to send tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine in February 2022. Well, that is made for the Ukrainians and for the Europeans. That's the first one, the American move. And do you remember when I explained to you how the West will try to stab Ivan in the back, Ivan being John in Russian or in Slavic language? That's how they're gonna do. Hey, Ivan! Yes, John! Well, how about, man, we talk, man, we friends now, man, we friends. We friends, here is the beer and some whiskey. Alright, and after they drink a little bit, Ivan lowers his guard. And at one point, Ivan and John just stay and, blah, 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 blow each of them a lady of the night. And while they do this, John tells Ivan, Ivan, look over there, how beautiful the sky is. And Ivan, with his guard lower, grabbing the lady of the night, the ponytail, he's like, where? Over there. Huh? And when Ivan is gonna do that, John is gonna take his dagger, push the lady of the night to the side. She's gonna be like, Puck! Okay? And chick, kill Ivan. That's what they will do to Russia. Because they couldn't fight Ivan on the tatami, they will fight Ivan like that. They did it before, they will try again. That's why, those are the first Johns to talk to Ivan. And we're here just to see how you're doing. Okay? Don't lower your guards. These guys are not doing it because they're nice. They're over there to you up. Alright, next. Let's see how many airplanes they need to defend Ukraine. New Voice of Ukraine. 120 aircraft enough to cover airspace over Western Ukraine, experts say. We have a saying in Romania. Probably is under a different example in many other cultures because it's generally true. Ei vând pielea ursului din pădure without even having it. Then we sell the bear's hive skin who's still in the woods. So we already make the deals about doing things about something we do not have. There is the bear is still in the woods, and we already say how much you want to give for the bear skin, but the bear is not even hunted yet. So the same here. These guys are talking about how many. I'm like Bernie Sanders right now. Okay, how many aircraft is needed for something that is not there, and it's never gonna be there, according to the Russians. But they talk about how many weapons, how many aircraft they need only for Western Ukraine. Why not Eastern Ukraine? Well, mountain slope, remember, model. Little by little, little by little. That's what it is. And I came up with a different name for the mountain slope model. What was it? In a previous, I think 2 videos ago. I can't remember right now. The African American Polish won't allow me to retrieve that information. So they say that right there. Here we go. European military experts and civil society leaders. Oh my God, civil society leaders. You know who those are? All right. Are urging Kiev's partners to protect Europe from Russian air incursions by securing the airspace over Western Ukraine. Where is Western Ukraine? No worries. I'm going to show you where Western Ukraine is as long as these guys are uploading that. Well, this is Ukraine, obviously. This is Western Ukraine. This is Polska. Poland is here. This is Belarus. They're talking about this area right here. Got it? This area. But the Russians can strike here, but here we're going to defend. Remember, these guys are working with the... Oh, I know what the mountain slope model is popping the cherry, which is you can't go fast. You have to go slow and then go harder and harder and harder. This is what... But the decision has been made. I'm going to fuck you. That's decision has been made, but in order to get there, you have to start slowly and then get used to the situation. Get her used with the pain, with it. I don't have to tell you all that, do I? All right, the same here. They're gonna start slowly, but the decision has been made. We're gonna kill. But these guys are talking about 120 airplanes about something that, like I tell you, you know what? When we go to Mars, I'm gonna go over there with my speedos. What are you gonna wear? Nothing, you say? It's okay, man. Nobody will see us. First, are we gonna go there? No. All right. And if you think that human beings will ever go to Mars, then watch the moon landing again. All right. Let's go to the next topic. Poland under attack. That means, like Hitler, they will tell its citizens that they have to implement some protecting orders in order to protect the population, for your own safety, for the common good. COVID-19, remember? All right, let's see. Poland neutralized drone over Warsaw government district. Oy vey. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has announced that security forces have neutralized a drone over the government districts in central Warsaw, adding that 2 Belarusian citizens have been detained in connection with the incident. Can I verify if those were Belarusians or just trust Tusk? I think you can tell when Tusk is lying when his lips are moving, then he's lying. When you see Tusk, oh, he's moving, lips are moving, lying. So yeah, they can tell us it was, I don't know, maybe they can tell us it was Romanians. How do you know that? You will never know the truth. We don't know if that was a Polish security services doing that to themselves, for flag operation. But nevertheless, they try to create the same hysteria. All right, and we have this article not only from the Russians, but also from the Ukrainians who celebrate that, Ukrainska Pravda. Tusk says drone flying over Warsaw government buildings. And this is the lie. Oh, his lips seem to be moving and not sucking a cock, unfortunately. Rather, Polish authorities have neutralized a drone flying over government buildings and the presidential residence. Oh my God. All right, the source is Prime Minister Donald Tusk. Okay, there you have it. 2 Belarusian citizens have been detained. The police are investigating the circumstances of the incident. Oh, terrorism, and we have to protect you, Polish people, by bringing maybe some immigration. They will defend us from everybody else because we're weak. They're strong. And let's go to the last topic here, and it is something very evident. NATO vulnerable to drone attack. Media. The bloc's defenses would be ineffective against wave of cheap unmanned aerial vehicles, several publications have said. Yes, of course, and when I say NATO, use United States of America. No, don't use Poland. United States of America is good enough. European NATO members' vulnerability to vulnerability, God damn it, to a large-scale drone attack was exposed by the recent incident in Poland allegedly involving Russian UAVs. No, my friends, no. You go to United States of America and use a fiber optic drone that has a let's say a operation radius or a range of about 20 miles nowadays. So you imagine you stay 20 miles from the target and you use it, and it will never be jammed and it will hit the target 100%. Imagine that. What do you think, these guys? Have you seen a nuclear power plant in the United States of America? I'm going to just give you an example. Have you seen over there? You got one guard over there maybe, and that's about it. Maybe a guard, but a lot of cameras. That's it. If a drone comes, or I don't put a drone, put something bigger, a drone with about, let's say, 50 kilograms or 100 kilograms of, I don't know, ammunition. They come with that one, low altitude. They will see it coming like they saw the airplane coming into the Pentagon. In 2001, oh my God, that was an airplane, right? They had only one camera from a gas station filming something hitting the Pentagon. It was an airplane. When the Pentagon was the best guarded institution in the United States of America, with military center, with tons of cameras, and surrounding it, the government, US government, the Pentagon, they seized all the footage and they gave us something hitting the Pentagon. It was an airplane. It was an airplane. Everybody else, every other footage that was over there, and there were more than one, I think like 25. Where are they? You don't need to see it. We tell you what happened. The same with Tusk. We tell you what happened. It was two Belarusians using a drone to try to destroy our nation, attack on our institutions. What should we do, Belarus? Now, I don't know if it's Belarusians, but I'm not an idiot, okay? Yes, they are vulnerable. Have you been to Hoover Dam? I've been to Hoover Dam. If you think you go over there with something will happen, you say, well, you need more than 50 kilograms of TNT or something to do something to the Hoover Dam. Just an example. I've been over there. You can drive your car around there. You can walk, hold your balls, take pictures, spit around. Then it's only one example. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.